Miss Novice friends. We are going to do another lesson using this special really cool feature that Miss Nava can use on her computer where you can see her screen, but also you can see me talking. So this is week 6 reading lesson. Like my morning message mentioned, we're going to be talking about non-fiction text features. So I have this PowerPoint and we're going to look at some different text features and then we can read a book and see which ones really stick out to us and maybe see if we can spot any of these text features in that book. So, as my slides change, I want you to think about what is this? What text feature is this picture showing? I see 2 arrows and they are pointing to something. What do you think this text feature is? Okay, do you have your answer? Miss Nava is going to see. We've talked about this before, so it might be a review, but Miss Nova will also talk about it as well. So the arrows were pointing towards a heading. A heading is the name of a section, and it gives us a preview about what we're about to read. So Miss Nova is going to go back. So that heading was called All About Fish. So that heading told me what I'm about to read is to learn more information about fish. Okay, let's go to our next one. So that was a heading. Do you know what this text feature is? Let me give you some time to think. So this text feature is called a diagram. So a diagram is a labeled picture that shows us parts of something. And so I'm going to go back to the picture. So here's the picture, and it's showing us different parts of something. So it's showing us parts of the ladybug. And then these are the labels. I know a lot of y'all know what labels are. A lot of y'all have been labeling your science work, and y'all like to label some other things y'all draw. But this whole picture is called a diagram. Okay, let's see which one's next. Ooh, what would you call this text feature? I don't see anything pointing towards something, so I just want you to look at what's on the screen. So that text feature was a photograph. And remember, we have talked about photographs and pictures. A picture is something that you can draw, like a lot of you guys draw pictures. A photograph is something that you use a camera for. So it's real pictures taken by a real camera, and that helps us understand the picture better. So that was a real picture of a tiger. Let's see our next one. What is this? And we're looking specifically at the very, very bottom of the picture. So that, at the very, very bottom of the picture, there is different text. And that text is called a caption. So a caption is small text that appear next to pictures, and they tell us more information about the picture or about the topic we're reading. Okay, what would you call this? So that was called a map. I'm sure a lot of y'all already knew that, and that just tells us where things are. So that was a map of the United States, but maybe if you were reading a book about an animal, maybe it would show you a map of where that animal comes from or where that animal lives. Okay, now for this one, I want you to look. You're looking sort of at these 2 words where the arrows are pointing to. What do you notice about those words? Do they look the same as the ones before or after them? So, those words were in bold print. So that means they're a little bit darker than the rest of the words on the page. And bold print are words that are darker, and they let us know those are really, really important to whatever we're talking about. Okay, now this just looks like a lot of words and a lot of different things. But do you know what we would call this? We call this the index. So the index is at the very back of the book usually, and it's a list of all the different topics that the book covered and what page number we could find them on. Okay, what would we call this? These are different words that are in bolded, and then it tells us a little bit about what the words are. Now I just want you to look at the picture. I'm going to go back to this. It's not messed up a little bit. I really just want you to look at the picture. Don't focus as much on the words, but just sort of what the words look like on the picture. So we call that non-fiction text feature a glossary. So a glossary is usually at the back of the book, and it tells us important words that were in the book and what those words mean. So a lot of times the words that are bolded, we also find in the glossary at the back of the book. So now I want you to look at this book, and I want you to think, is this book a non-fiction or a fiction book? Do you have your answer? If you said nonfiction, you're right. So that was an example of a nonfiction book. That looks like some books Miss Nova remembers from her classroom. But that book had a real picture, and it was going to tell us real things about pandas. Ooh, what would we call this? Again, just worry about looking at the picture and sort of what the picture looks like. Don't worry about the words on the picture as much. So that is called the table of contents. And so the table of contents tells us the topics that are in the book and where we can find them. So this is at the beginning of the book. So Miss Nava's slideshow has ended. So she's going to exit. And then she's going to take you to Epic. And so she's going to try to make this a little bit bigger so we can really see Epic. And on Epic, I'm looking for non-fiction books. I typed in National Geographic because I know National Geographic gives me lots of good books about all different topics. So one that I really see, I really like elephants, and I know in science last week we even looked at elephants, so I think I want to learn a little bit more, so I'm going to click elephants. And so this gives me the title of the book. That's a non-fiction text feature. So a title gives the reader an idea of what the book is going to be about. So I read that the title is Elephants, so I know this book is going to be about elephants. So when I open the book, I see the table of contents right at the very front. Here are all the topics that are going to be in the book and the page number of where to find them. So here's my first page. It says all about elephants. So this would be a heading because it's going to tell me about what I'm going to learn on this page. It says an elephant is the biggest animal that lives on land. An adult elephant is much bigger than a truck and can weigh up to 14,000 pounds. So I see a bolded word right there, the word bigger. I see 3 real photographs. And then it says over here, a baby elephant is bigger than an adult cheetah. It eats a lot and grows more every day. There's another bold word right there. There are 2 kinds of elephants, African elephants and Asian elephants. Although they have the same body parts, there are some differences. So here is the word, another bolded word, the word same. And I see 2 more real pictures. And then right below those pictures, I would say this is a caption. So this tells me that this is an African elephant, and this tells me this is an Asian elephant. So captions, remember, go with photographs to tell us more about it. And they say they are not the same size. African elephants are a little bit bigger. And like Miss Nava just looked, the caption shows me this is the African elephant, and it's a little bit bigger than the Asian elephant. So an Asian elephant has a rounder head with a large bump on top. Not all Asian elephants have tusks, but all African elephants do. An elephant's tusk is like a large tooth. It grows as the elephant gets older. So I hope you see the bold words. I also see a label right here on the real photographs showing me this label shows me that this is a tusk. African elephants live in the desert and plains where the temperature is very warm. They have big ears and wrinkly skin with many lines and folds. It's hot here. Wrinkly skin and big ears help. They let heat leave the elephant's body. So here's another real photograph, and here's another caption. It gives you a close-up picture of the elephant skin. Asian elephants live in shady jungles where there are plenty of trees, leaves. Their skin is smooth and their ears are small. It's very hot in the shady jungle. Asian elephants don't need special body parts to stay cool. So again, here are some bolded words and some real photographs. Now, this says your turn. Look at the elephants and point to their body parts. Then say which is the African elephant and which is the Asian elephant. So this, we didn't really talk about this non-fiction text feature, but this is just a word bank, and it's letting us know some words they want us to find. So tusk, head, ears, and skin. So maybe see if you can see those on there before Miss Nava turns the page. Okay, now here's another heading. This looks a little bit different. It's bolded. It says Chapter 2, and this is about families. So Miss Nava's not going to keep reading this whole book because she doesn't want to make this video too long, and she wants to show you something else real quick. But this, we can just sort of flip through some of the pages. Again, I see a lot of real pictures and bold words in this book. If you're on Epic, maybe you can go try it out yourself. And so once you read through your book, there's some more labels on this page. Again, more bolded words, a lot of pictures with captions. Here's a map right here. And so once you finish your book, I want you to use a graphic organizer like this. And so Miss Nava is going to turn to a page because she really wants you, let's see, I'm going to go back there. Oh, there I am. I was trying to make sure so you could see me. So this is a graphic organizer, and it has the topic, and it has three sections down here. So you can use this, or you can use your reader response journal. It's up to you. So Miss Nava is going to first think about the topic. So, the topic about that book would be elephants, right? It was telling me about animals, but specifically elephants. So Miss Nava would write elephants right there. So then there are 3 boxes on my graphic organizer. There's a box asking for me to draw the feature. There's facts I learned about the feature. And how does it help you understand the topic? So the feature I want to put on my graphic organizer that I thought was so helpful was captions. So I'm going to write the word caption. You can draw it. You can write it. You can do both. Miss Nava's going to draw. My picture won't look exactly the same, but I'm going to try and draw an elephant head, and then I'm going to write African elephant. So here it is. I wrote my text feature, I wrote caption, I drew a picture. This is supposed to be an elephant, like Miss Nava says, she's not an artist. And then I put what the caption was underneath it, African elephant. So facts I learned from this feature. What I learned from the caption is what African elephant looks like. Because it was showing me this was the African elephant, remember, not the Asian elephant. And then how does this help you understand the topic? Well, now I won't be confused with Asian elephants. So like Miss Nova was saying, now she won't be confused between Asian and African elephants. So I'm going to write now. I will know which is an Asian elephant and an African elephant. So now Miss Nava has filled in her whole chart. My topic was elephants. The feature I decided to write about was captions. So I drew the picture and then the caption. I said facts I learned. I said I learned what an African elephant looks like. And it helped me understand the topic because now I know which is an Asian elephant and which is an African elephant. So Miss Nava is going to show you that again. I'm going to try to put my screen back to where you can see the book. So this was the feature I was talking about. Here are the two pictures, and here is the caption. So here's the caption of African elephant, and like I said, on my graphic organizer, this showed me what an African elephant looked like in comparison to the Asian elephant. So I learned that African elephants were bigger, and now if I saw those two pictures, I would know which one is which. So I hope you enjoyed getting to sort of refresh your mind about our non-fiction text features. I hope you enjoyed the little bit of the elephant book I read. If you want to finish that, if you're already on Epic, go ahead and find it and maybe you can finish the rest. You can choose a book of your own if you have a book that works at home, or there is a book that Miss Nava has linked for our plans that you can use. That has some great examples of non-fiction text features. I'm also going to be sending a chart that you can look at as a reference to help you when you are doing the graphic organizer on your own. So this week you're going to choose your one book. Today you can even start by choosing your book and writing the topic. And then each day you're going to work a little bit on this graphic organizer section by section, and remember you can print it out or you can use it in your reader response journal. And then on Friday you're going to take a picture of the work you've been doing and send it to Miss Nava. So I will talk more about this with you during our weekly meetings, but I hope you enjoyed it, and let's get to work.